Welcome. Thank you for joining us on the Feminine Force. We are going to talk about an exciting topic tonight, something that is very applicable to every woman on this planet. We hope you liked our new intro. I got really excited watching that tonight, Carolyn. It was very good. So yes, both of us are here tonight. Carolyn, thank you again for being with me on this wonderful conversation.
Oh, wonderful to be here with you again, Lisa. Yeah, and we're really excited. We're working hard on redesigning our intro because we noticed that we wanted to widen it and to really kind of encapsulate what we're doing and all the different levels, and how, you know, the feminine force is kind of, it seeps into every area of our lives, you know, and it's all about building beautiful connections, about how we find our purpose, how we do all that through connecting with this inner beauty that we have that's innate within us. So that's what we're really passionate about, getting women in touch with that inner beauty that they have, and that is such a force in the world. Then when women have that really true sense of themselves. So tonight we were going to talk a little bit about what the feminine force is and how that we see it is an evolution of feminism. So, you know, that when we look at feminism from the past, it's been trying to, you know, get women's rights, and it's about equality, and it's about, you know, fairness and justice for women, and women getting, you know, our vote and getting into the workplace and being treated, you know, equally with a man. So with the way we see, you know, the feminine force as being an evolution is when we're now at a stage where I suppose there's been, say, a couple of decades of that, a century of it, and where we can see that maybe femininity has fallen away in that fight for equality, and where I feel that our true power is in getting in touch with our feminine side, and how that shows up in the world, because there's an imbalance at the moment in power in the world, where there's very much the energy of masculinity is very prevalent in the world. And what we want to bring is to bring that beautiful femininity through, but in a really strong way. So the characteristics of femininity are caring, compassion, nurturing, you know, always taking everybody into consideration, you know, like we're used to building families and communities, and we know that we can't survive if we do it alone. We have to be together in community, in communication and unity in community, that we have to talk, we have to be able to communicate freely, and we need to be united in that, and we need to understand that that's for our common good, that, you know. And I suppose it's moving past tribalism as well, so that especially now with the fact that we've had this huge evolution in our technology, that now we are like one big global village, and that with the idea of that we're maturing into this, that it's not just, you know, a national tribal identity, that we have this identity as humanity, that we have this care for the whole of humanity, not just our country, our race, our, you know, ethnic background, that we can see the whole of humanity as one family, and that we want to care for that, and that we're not happy with what's happening in the world in leadership. Leadership has really let us down, and that when we come to the world and we look to see how our children and the atmosphere and the environment that our children are going into, if the masculine has been in charge up to this point, it's like as if they're supposed to be protecting and custodians of the earth and the mother earth. It's not working, you know. So the imbalance is there. So that's why this uprising in femininity is needed, because we are here to protect the environment for our children, because we do all the work in raising the kids, having children, having them, and then we're not happy with, you know, when we bring them out into the world, what type of world are they going into? You know, for me, that is just my motivation always. Like, you know, what I have teenagers, like, what type of world are they going into now, and what's the future of my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, my beyond me, you know, generations coming. So it's like as if the imbalance in the world at the moment is so prevalent that the feminine is rising to try to combat that. And the feminine is very creative. It's the creative force. It's the force that brings the new. But also the feminine force is like, just like nature, it can destroy, and it will, like a wave can come and destroy, knock down something that's not relevant anymore. So it's like this force of compassion and love and care can be very destructive as well, because we have to destroy what's not working. We need to pull down what's not working so that we can bring in the new. So it's like, it's not about, it's about recreating and redesigning a future for our children and our children's children, because what's being done at the moment is not working, and we can see that. So it's like this natural force that we're finding with all the women that we speak to, that they are knowing this is something being activated in them, you know, this lioness kind of energy that is just had enough and just isn't happy with the world that our children are going into. So the evolution of the feminism is not so much about equality, but it's about protection, and it's about protection for our children, and it's about coming into collaboration with masculine and with the masculine energy in ourselves, so that we can be strong enough to have our voice in the world, and to bring, you know, really to kind of, I suppose, be very, very, very fierce and fearless in saying what needs to be said, because we don't have time anymore to just kind of sit back and allow things to kind of enforce. We need to be very creative. We need to have energy. We need to be innovative, and we need to, you know, speed things up. So it's like we need to lock in and complement the masculine, because we know that we have the power to do that as well, to activate the latent capacity within the masculine energy, to be able to make them stronger in themselves as well, because they need our guidance too. We don't work independently, we're interdependent. So we're designed, the masculine and feminine, to work together within ourselves, but also within the relationships. So when we can come into the true relationships in the world, in our kind of personal life as well, it can have a massive dynamic effect on how we show up in the world. And when we're modeling that to the younger generation as well, of what we're expected in our partners, and what we want the world to be, how we want it to be rebuilt, and the way we want it to be redesigned, then this can have a huge effect. So the evolution is very much bringing the femininity through in this movement, rather than what's been before of just about being equal. We need to kind of lock in and start working together in collaboration to kind of make huge change in the world, and to rebuild this new world that we can thrive in, because it's about thriving, you know, and it's about flourishing into our true sense of ourselves and into true intelligence, you know. So that's, I feel, is what's happening. Yeah.
I totally agree. And I think that's this concept of, like, we hear a lot about the divine feminine, and this, you know, and like, really, this is a term that's been bandied about, but what does it really mean for a woman? You know, I've been noticing with my clients is that there's more and more women that are just being activated, and it's like there's something in me that I feel disconnected, I feel stuck, but I know there's something more. And it's almost like this activation of, I don't know what it is, but I feel a sense of something inside of me. That's the feminine force. And for me, because I think this is something that I would use the terms, but didn't really understand what it meant. And for me, the feminine force is incredibly soft. It has a lot to do with our open heart. And for me, when I was opening my heart, I did have to do emotional work, because sometimes it's a little bit challenging to sit in the vulnerability. So it's like the work that we do is really validating ourselves and owning and accompanying ourselves in the vulnerability so that our hearts can open, because that's where we find this courage, the courage of a lioness. So while there's this beautiful softness and nurturing quality, and I think that is that really beautiful nurturing, being held just because you are, for no other reason, not because you've done anything special, but just being held and accepted and loved and nurtured just because you are a child of the universe. That is part of the feminine for me, but also this real, it can be really, like this is just not on. And it's like there's a feeling that can well up inside of me that is like this warrior that comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that while it's very soft and nurturing and loving, it's also very, very powerful. But that both of those energies seem to me to come from like this embodiment of me. It's not a force. It's not a fight. It's not a trying to control. It's more of a natural welling up that comes up in me. And I think that for me, it's like I'm creating this. I feel like, it's the creation of this new way of being. There are some things that are totally unacceptable. And I don't think that we should accept the unacceptable. And I think it is up to us to do something about it if we're in the position to. However, I also feel it's like, well, let's create what we want. Yes. Rather than fighting, it's like taking the war out, taking the fight out. It's like accepting that it's there and going, that's not what we're doing. We're doing this. And we're doing this with this power that comes from our hearts, with this power that comes from this real force. And it's like nothing can stop us when we're in that force.
Yeah, it is the creative force, and it's absolutely that completely. And I think we had something happen last week where that was activated, and I just thought, we were talking about the process, and I that's exactly what happens with me when something happens and I see an injustice. It's like as if I go from I just get activated, but I go straight into creativity. That's how I just go like, it's just like this creative force just takes over, and I just like I go no, but I just, instead of like like you said, fighting. No, my way of fighting is creating something new, creating a choice for people. This is the way that is. Okay, we have to accept this is here present in our society, but okay, let's create what we feel is the better way, a choice for people, like just a choice where they can say, okay, they can make the decision themselves, like this is one way and this is another way, which way suits me best, and it's just opening up that choice where people can kind of use their innate intelligence to be able to feel into what's true for them. And what's true for them is what they know innately in themselves, the direction that will give them this deep satisfaction and this deep sustenance and support within their system on a deeper level than what we've maybe had before, kind of way. So it's very much the creative force, and it's fueled by the emotions of love and compassion, and really using your emotions as that fuel. Like that's what the emotions are for, really. We talked about this before, Lisa, as well, that it's just like when you feel so connected that you just get this overwhelming emotion of compassion and love and wanting to do something, caring so much that you will just create something completely different, just solve the problems, you know what I mean? It's like trying to bring that care. It's like, I think like we're being called, it's like this nurturing caring, compassionate force that's so strong that just cannot not do that, you know.
Yeah.
It just has to do it. It's like the mother earth, you know, the mother force, you know. You know, it's like that, you just wells up in you, you know. And when you just see like a child that needs help or whatever, that you just can't help it, it just comes out of you, you know. So it is that force that's just emanates, isn't it?
It is. And I think that when we're talking about the evolution of feminism, I think this is the evolution comes with not trying to be or trying to create or trying to make things happen and thinking about it, but it's more the feeling of this this thing coming up in me that really wants to create change. So there's more of a feeling that comes with it for me. So, you know, rather than seeing the injustice and being in my mind, you know, trying to create, talking about division, and they shouldn't be doing that. And like it's very us versus them. It's very warring. It's more of there's a natural process to it. So I think for me, the evolution has been to be more allowing, actually, to be more allowing of this force to come up, because I've realized that I can't speed it up or slow it down, or, you know, like it's this natural unfolding of this feminine force within us that it's time now is to come up and to rise. And all I have to do is get out of the way and just be open to it and get curious about it and just allow it and accompany it to start to shine more and more in my life.
Yeah, I love that, actually, the allowing, because there's another level of that, is allowing what's actually happening in the world to be as well. So like it's okay that that's happening, because that's part of the whole picture as well.
Mm.
It's part of the whole, that it's not to be judging, it's just to see it clearly. Like we talked about taking the rose tinted glasses off and just to see life clearly. This is where it is, this is where we're at, this is how what we've created humanity up to this point. So if this is where we are, what can we do? What can we do going forward from here? And then to each one of us to create this space, that reflective space within our days, that we can clear and get still. Because like the higher intelligence comes, that true intelligence comes from stillness and quiet and silence, and to silence ourselves. And then we get the inspiration and we get the guidance and we get the blueprint, as I call it, the blueprint for the new world, you know. And it gives, each of us get a little piece of that. And then if everybody gets their little piece and then brings their little piece into the world, then it's rebuilt, you know. So that's very, very comforting to know that, you know, that there is a bigger plan, it's a redesign, and it is happening in the midst of chaos. There's order, you know. It's just a new order that's going to be coming, you know. And it's the order of harmony, that we're all coming into harmony with ourselves, with our relationships, with the planet, you know. So the harmonious, interdependent, interconnected understanding of this unity consciousness is where we're going. So the balance, bringing balance back in, understanding balance within ourselves, and then balance in relationships, balance in every aspect of our lives, and then balance in the planet. So it's like, for me, like I see the feminine force, even with the planet itself, is like one energy. It is like a body, a celestial body. So when it gets angry, it reacts the same as what we were talking about. When we get angry, it starts, you know, having storms. There's floods, there's fires, there's, you know, it's welling up. It's saying no, like, you know, stop this, you know. It's fighting back, you know. It's like, it's the same thing, just on a larger scale, that it's just saying no, you know. It's had enough. It's kind of, it's telling you, I have enough, I've had enough, I have enough, you have to stop. You know, what you're doing is toxic. It's not sustainable. This is not sustainable. The relationship that humanity is having with the earth is not sustainable. Like a toxic relationship that you have with a partner, it's not sustainable. It has to stop, you know. So it's not until we see that it's not, it's like we are like, each one of us like a cell of, we are connected to the earth, we are part of the earth, we were born of the earth, we go back to the earth, you know, we're part of it. So when we do, if you want to change the world, we have to change from within us, and then we can change our perception. Perception changes, and when we look around us and see what we have is of high value, everybody in our life, everything that we have, what we eat, what we use, what we buy, has to be seen as high value, because it is coming from, produced by the earth. You know, it has to come from somewhere and has to go back to somewhere. You know, so that's the harmonious living. You know, it's just, that's the intelligent way of living. You know, and it's the, that's what the force, that movement of divine feminine is all about. It's not just about women, it's about that feeling and that force and that harmony that needs to come back into balance. Yeah,
that's good. I like that. It's not just about women, it's about everything.
Yes.
Yeah, so true. Bringing everything back into balance.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, so good. Oh, so good. Thank you, Caroline. That was a great conversation. So we'll wrap up now. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Continue to tune in Mondays and Wednesday nights and subscribe to our channel. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all for watching, and see you on Wednesday. Bye.